Hey Stellar Guitarists, it's Amber here, and in today's lesson I'm going to be teaching you how to play Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee on the guitar. If this is something that you'd like to learn, then stick around and let's get into the lesson. So I really love to listen and to play and to sing along to this awesome Christmas song. And the reason is because it's super beginner friendly. It only has a handful of chords that you need to know and one simple, straightforward strumming pattern that we're going to get into in a minute. If you'd like to play the song in the original key, then you're going to need to put a capo onto the first fret of your guitar. Right, let's get into the chords that you'll need to play this awesome song. So we're going to be starting on a G major chord. Next up we have an E minor chord, then a C major. We're then going to be moving on to a B minor chord, which is usually played as a bar chord. But for the purpose of this lesson, I have a much easier simplified version called easy B minor, and the way that we play that, it looks like this, and we build it with our first finger in the second fret on our first string. You're then going to put your second finger into the third fret on your second string, and your third finger is going to go onto the third string in your fourth fret. And just try and aim for those three strings that you're pushing down when you do your strum. The next three chords that we have are all seventh chords, starting with an A minor 7 chord, then to a D7 chord, and finally an A7 chord. Now, a little tip from me to anyone watching this video who might be very new to playing the guitar: if you're struggling to play any of these seventh chords, just play the normal version. So for example, A minor 7, you can play a normal A minor. For the D7, go ahead and play a normal D major chord. And the same goes for the A7. Then you can play a normal A chord. Just remember, my lessons are here to help you learn to play the guitar with short, sweet, and simple lessons. So if that means simplifying something to make it a little bit easier, then by all means, go for it. I also like to tell all my students to spend as much time as they need practicing changing between those chords. So if you need to hit pause on the video now just to practice changing back and forth between the chords that we've just covered, then please go ahead and do that before moving on into the next section of the lesson. Right, you guys, we're going to move on into the strumming pattern that's used in the song. Like I said, we only have one pattern that's used throughout the entire song, and it sounds like this: down, down, up, up, down, up. Down, down, up, down, up. Why don't you go ahead and grab your guitar and let's practice that pattern with the G chord. 1, 2, 3, go. Down, down, up, down, up. Once you feel comfortable playing that, what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of a swing to that pattern. So it's going to sound like this in the song. Rocking around Christmas tree, down, down, up, down, up. And let's quickly talk about the structure of the song. So the song starts with an intro, it then goes into the verse, moves on to the bridge, there's then a solo, and last of all we have the final verse. So let's jump into learning the introduction. So the intro is very simple. We only have 4 chords in this progression, and we're going to be starting on a G major chord. We're then going to go across to an E minor, then to C, and then to our D7 or D major, depending on what you're comfortable playing. And we're going to use 1 bar of the strumming pattern on each chord. So let's play that through together. 1, 2, 3, go. into the section where the singing comes in. This is what we call the verse. What we're going to be doing is starting on a G major chord, and we're going to do 2 bars of the strumming pattern before we move on to the D7 for 2 bars of the strumming pattern. So it's going to sound like this. Again, switch to D7, and again. Then the second half of the verse, we're going to be taking that strumming pattern and splitting it over 2 chords. So the first 2 down strums are going to be on the A minor 7, and then the second half of the strumming pattern we're going to play on the D7. So it's going to sound like this. Down, down, up, down, up. So we're changing halfway through the pattern. Down, down, up, down, up. And we're going to play that 3 times. So why don't we do it together? Let's take it nice and slow. Ready? 2, 3, 4. One more time. And to end off the verse, we're going to change back to the G major for 1 bar of the pattern. Now I'm going to pull the words up onto the screen for you so you can see where those chord changes are taking place, and we're going to do a little mini playthrough of verse 1 together. Starting on the G major, 1, 2, 3, go. Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hall. A minor 7. Let's move on to learning the bridge of the song. So what we're going to be doing here is starting on a C major chord, and we're going to play 2 rounds of the strumming pattern before changing to our easy B minor chord for 2 rounds of the strumming pattern. So let's practice that together. Here we go, and repeat it again and change. We're then going to be going to our E minor chord for 2 rounds of the strumming pattern. So what we have to do is we're going to just drop that chord shape down and split the fingers, and we have our A7 chord, which we're going to play for 1 down strum, before moving on to our D7 chord for 1 round of the pattern. Let's play that through together from the beginning of the bridge, starting on that C major chord. 1, 2, 3, go. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. The halls with bounds of harmony. So the next section of the song is the solo. And there's nothing that special about this part of the song. All you're going to need to do is repeat the chords that we learned from the verse section earlier on in the lesson. And then finally, we're going to move on to the final verse of the song. So the last verse of the song is very similar to the first verse of the song. The only thing that's a little bit different is the way that the verse ends. So what we're going to be doing is repeating that A minor 7 to the D7. Instead of doing that 3 times, we're only going to be doing it twice. So it will sound like this. And then we're going to be doing 2 rounds of the strumming pattern on that D7 chord. And then we've got only 4 chords left to learn in the song, and that's going to be our G chord, to the C, E minor, and ending on the G. Right, you guys, that is the entire song. All that's left to do now is a final playthrough, so don't go anywhere. Stick around to join me to play through the entire song of Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. 1, 2, 3, go. that's it. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial today. As always, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. Come and join the Stellar Guitarists community. That way you'll never miss any lessons that I release in the future. Have a wonderful festive season, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!